Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Frankie B, and I thought I would do some little bit of little drawing today, just to get the art flowing and the creativity recharged up. Uh, the Kickstarter has been doing campaigns, been doing fantastic, and thank you so much for just for those that have definitely have been there for us and have been sharing it and so forth. Thank you so much. You've really been helping us in many different ways and just getting the word out. And I don't know, that's, what do you say to that? It's so humbling. So anyway, we actually did, me and Matthew did a sort of podcast interview, I guess, a chat with Spoiler Country yesterday, which is pretty fun. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of chit-chatting on a couple of shows and stuff, which is fun. I mean, anything just to get the word out about, the indie kaiju comic book market, but also the indie comic book market as well. I think that we're helping each other when we talk about the various things, especially like comic books and stuff like that. But I will say for the indie comic book market, it's definitely one of those things where, you either are going to be a fan of, say, like what I'm going to be drawing today on the sketch cover, Ultraman, or Godzilla, or Gamera, or Dimension, or whatever, Giant Robo. You're either going to be a fan or you're just not going to be a fan. Or you may just be someone who's just, saying, hey, I love comic books, and, this might be something that might interest me. So anyway, I put the information to our Kickstarter in the posting and stuff, so you can check it out. Go to the link, and feel free to share this. I'm actually doing it right now. I'm actually trying to take care of all that fun stuff. I've been trying to learn to be a little bit more better with this, where sharing it to different places, and I really do appreciate when other people do it as well, because that definitely helps. And yeah, and then I'll start doing some drawing. I've been doing a lot of sketch covers recently. Which is kind of nice. It's kind of fun. I got a bunch of them too, so it's kind of exciting to be able to just start cranking out and whatever. But anyway, let me just do a little poster right there. I think I've hit a few places. I don't want to get too obnoxious, get in trouble. But anyway, hey, if you guys are checking this out, I'm actually getting set to start drawing. Please help me by just sharing, just passing the word out there to folks. Let them just know that Frankie B is about to do a little bit of drawing, and if they want to check it out, you got the time, check it out. This will eventually end up on my YouTube channel, and you can check it out that way. So anyway, let's get this going. So, all right, right here, I am a messy artist, by the way. I think I've said that before many times. The secret of my creativity is mess, chaos, and then somehow I find order in it. But anyway, I have my reference from the Ultraman for Ultraman and stuff, and this was because I had previously worked on the R.R. Parks sketch card Ultraman set, which was a very successful campaign, by the way, Kickstarter campaign. I mean, again, when you're dealing with an IP like this, I mean, it wasn't like, to me, I was like, this is going to be a success, but regardless, they got a ton of artists working on it, and it's pretty cool. So anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm grabbing my little Presto correction pen. It's funny because I remember a couple of years ago I saw Jim Lee actually bust out one of these. I've been using these for years, and also I use white. I have Pro White too somewhere, but Jim Lee busted out one of these. He was like, yeah, man, it's nice, easy, fast. So I've been using these to, pretty much white out spots and stuff on sketch covers. And the trick about these, though, unfortunately, is that I've now this has literally made this piece uncolorable. Colorable in the sense that, if somebody wanted me to color this up in here, it's going to look really weird. It's going to look like a big patch and stuff. So I'm focusing on the black and white. Seems like a lot of people like my black and white stuff. So, it's really, to me, it saves me the time of coloring, and I'm a huge fan of black and white. So, so it definitely helps me. So technically the idea for this double cover sketch cover is, again, I did a print a couple of years ago where I had this idea of Oh, I love Jet Jaguar, and I always felt that again. Jet Jaguar was somewhat of a slight little rip from Ultraman, and so it was cool. You know, Toho did their thing, and they created a character who sort of came into his own, and then you got Ultraman, and I did this print where I had both of them together, and yeah, the print was all right. I don't know if I did Ultraman the way I made him very weird looking, and you know, it's one of those things as an artist. You know, you just kind of sometimes you hit and then you put it out there and then you look at it a couple of years later and you go, ooh. But now I'm more like, okay, since I've been drawing a couple of Ultraman stuff, I'm starting to get more relaxed with the character and understanding the character a little better. So anyway, today is going to be my pencil. I'm going to be just focusing on pencil and no inking. That is the plan. So anyway, by the way, I'm using just a simple Papermate sharp writer. These are just convenient. I mean, I have mechanical pencils and all that other stuff. I mean, since I'm such a hoarder, and I have a lot of stuff from my years of working in the industry and stuff. But these, I just find it to be so like nice, easy, simple, fast. And grab them, and then boom, I'm on it. So anyway. Let's get Ultraman. So what I did was I did some blue line just to lay out the figures. Now the figures I'm going to be drawing today will be Ultraman, the classic Ultraman, and then I have oh god, I hope I can pronounce his name. Gugas is going to be in the back, and then Alien Zaras is being kicked right here, and then on this side over here I have Jet Jaguar, and he's kicking someone. Let's see. As you can hear, the paper's rumbling. I wrote down all the names too. I've admitted before that I've only seen a few episodes of Ultraman, and I don't know all the characters in the universe. Let's see. Oh, what's this other character's name? Frank should do better than that. And I had him out earlier too. Oh, okay. His name is Kila. Very interesting names. So anyway, we're gonna start. I'm going to start from right to left. Yeah. All right. So again, I hope everybody's doing well. I want to again thank everybody for dropping by and checking it out. I want to thank everyone who's been supporting our campaign. You know, you've been really helping us out. And just to let people know that the comic book has been picked, the series itself has been picked up by Second Sight Publishing. I'd like to thank Bradley Golden as well as Marcus Roberts for just taking us on, you know, and taking a chance with our concept. So next year will be the year when the actual series comes out. So let's just say Frankie B is going to be drawing a lot this year. And I just got some more good news. It looks like I'm going to be revisiting the North Woods. That would be the Legend of Logs universe. So I'll be revisiting and doing some more work for that as well. So yeah, definitely staying busy, which I love. Keeps me out of trouble. That's what my teachers always said. You want to stay out of trouble, kid. All right. Ultraman is such an interesting character too. I love the classic. I like the new stuff too. Don't mind you, I actually have some of the mangas. Actually, all of them. I think I'm up to date with most of the mangas for the new Ultraman series, and they're pretty cool. It's an interesting take on them. You know, like they're more human sized. So let's see. I've been getting back into more. Can't tell if anybody. And please feel free to comment too, and I'll try to occasionally take a little break, drink my tea or my my power drink, and you know, see if I can respond to you and stuff. But I've been doing a lot more penciling since going into doing the more comic book sequential artwork, which is kind of good. So, oopsie. I hope everybody's doing good, by the way. We got to head out this morning for our little workout. Like, we work out 5 days a week, and today we decided to implement a little bit of going back out to just doing some walking. It's good to get a little bit of road work out there. I haven't started running again, but the walking, man, kicked my butt. I've been doing a lot of mixture of yoga and strength body training and stuff like that. So the muscles that, you know, I've never really used and stuff, I really can feel it, you know.
and it's good. Yeah, yoga is really helping me out a lot. So we definitely felt it. We got like 3 miles in this morning, walking. We got some hills, so that was good. So definitely feeling it. It just felt good just to be out. I'll be honest with you. All right. So yeah, I'm super excited for to finally, once the campaign is over and we got everyone for the fulfillments to put out and stuff, and I get the sketch cards or whatever that I have to draw, all that's all done. Then we can really start focusing on just working on the comic. I've been working on some concept art, and I pretty much have an overlay of where the story's gonna go and stuff that Matthew's pulling together. And yeah, I'm excited. I think there's always that part where you have something, and then just the excitement of just like, okay, man, we're gonna get this thing going, and finally, you know, let's see what we can do. And I really like. It feels good. I'm super excited about this project, and that's what you want. You want to be jazzed. You want to be excited. All right. Yeah, it's funny. Ultraman's been. It's like I vaguely remember. I do remember watching, which I would love to find again. I think I might have one of them somewhere on disc. Is the there was an Ultraman. There was two Ultraman animated movies, and I have one of them. But there was one that was really, I don't know if it was done by Sunbow, but it was, the animation was sick, man. It was like Ultraman America or something. I don't know if anybody remember that one. But man, I remember that being so cool, and I was like, oh, I wanted that so bad. And it's been tough to try to find it. I don't know if anybody can comment on a place to find that video. That'd be really, I'd be really appreciative of that one. Yeah. And I guess that Ultraman series has been really well received and stuff over at Marvel, so that's good. I'm just happy. I'm happy that a character like this is, making it into the Western market. And the fact that they were very open about bringing it. Like you're starting to see this big swim of like all this stuff connected to Ultraman, all these classic characters, especially Kaiju related, that people in the West who many have actually really enjoyed and loved these characters, but now you're starting to see they're being promoted to the mass market, and that's just fantastic. It's great news. Again, it helps them, but it helps us also. You know, this was always, I would say, this was always my dream. Like my dream was to, be able to do something that dealt with this genre. Oh, even though I love horror, love werewolves. I think I mentioned that a few times. Um, but also this genre where you're dealing with giant monsters or giant robots, and more super robot kind of mythology. That's something that's always kind of jazzed me a lot. Ever since seeing the Shogun Warriors. One of the things I've noticed with my drawing these days is that I've actually become much more conscious and take a lot more time. Like a little bit. I'm still pretty fast, but now I definitely focus more on. I really want the artwork to look good. I want it to be the best. When I worked in advertising, that my work was good. Don't get me wrong, but still there was that part where hmm, there was that part where I was going so fast that I wasn't really focused on the details. Sometimes and sometimes to my own detriment, and I was never really happy with my work. In that sense, I felt I can always go a little further. And that's always the bane of the stuff of being an artist, and that writer or musician, just because you're always in that conflict sometimes. I'm definitely at that stage where I bless my stuff. I go, oh well, when I say bless, I mean that it's just, I know how to let it go. I don't get so wrapped up where it's just like, oh my god, I can't do anything else. Oh, this is the most horrible piece, and I'm trying to search for this unattainable perfection. Yeah, I'm way past that point. You know, I know how to let something go and just be like, okay, well, here's on to the next piece. All right. And it just feels good sometimes to sort of, you know, shift gears and just work on other different things. It's been nonstop, which is great. And non-stop working on things. Meeting new people too. You know, like I said, I've gone on a few different shows and stuff, and just starting to even see people coming out of the woodwork. Just, you know, in the sense of just kaiju comic books. Like we're doing sort of like a cross promotion with this other campaign called Territory, with another sort of kaiju story, and the story is so different than what we're doing, but nevertheless, excuse me, it's in the same framework, you know, giant monsters and stuff like that. And I love that. I love the fact that that this genre allows people to kind of do their own different, you know, takes on it and stuff. Doesn't always have to be something that's going to be, you know, monsters that are, you know, eating human beings, or even so, like even just the approach doesn't have to be a sense of realistic. It can be fun. It can be something where, again, you could have giant creatures like what's going on here with Ultraman and stuff, and they're fighting, and you know, and they did or whatever, and yeah, let's see. That's crazy. See, there's two different designs. See, what's weird about it is that there's two different designs for. I'm looking here, like, and I'll show you guys. Like right here, these are two different. These are my reference, but there's two different designs. I get this nice fatter one, so I'm going for the more fatter version. But you have this version right there too. Maybe one day, if Kaijus and Cowboys gets really big, and I can have the time to take off and watch a lot of these. I still got to get through the $6 Million Man. Before I heading off into surgery, I started watching those, and I forgot what season where I end up stopping. It's just, there's never enough time. There's never enough time in the day. You know, and both of us, we don't watch a lot of TV. It's a few hours, and then that's it. You know. Truthfully, I'd rather be like, you know, if I'm not drawing, then me and Jess are just enjoying our time together. Just, you know, I'd rather be doing that than just, you know, just watching shows and stuff like that. It's just saying, you know what I mean? All right. So that's weird, like his legging. See, the legging is totally different. Huh. This is interesting. So that Ultraman, so maybe I have to change it up. See, this was the thing that I was dealing with when I was working. So now I do have to change it up because the legging's going to be different. This is why I always say, man, it's like when you can get good reference, oh, it's like a gold mine. I'd rather have really good reference, you know, just so you can have a good point to work from, so you're not like trying to second guess how something is. You know, as an artist, yeah, you know, we'll add our extra little thing in there, but still, you know, I don't want to be changing so much stuff, you know. So I'm gonna change it. So I just noticed like this guy right here, like these are like smaller shorts. So I like this one. I like this classic one right there. So I'm gonna go back to that. So I like him like the long thing. Yeah, it's pretty good. So it happens, you know. One thing about me is that that freedom of just like, you know, you don't have to get so locked down in one thing and just be like, okay. So right here I wanted to show like doing a power kick kind of thing. So a couple of speed lines in there. Boom. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show like so like a crack. Yeah, put some words in there. I love doing these little word things. I do. And it's funny because I'm not a letterer either. I don't consider myself a letterer, but I just love these classic. I actually picked up volume 2 of the Invaders and a lot of Frank Robbins work. I don't know if you guys know who Frank Robin is. If you do, please comment. But Frank Robin is a tremendous artist. He's another one of those artists who I really admired. He did a lot of the, I think he worked with Rich Buckler too and those cats. But his work had a lot of energy in it, man. I love the stuff he did. That was one of the reasons why I got into the Invaders. And so I ended up purchasing the volume 1, 2. I got volume 2, and now I get in volume 1. But yeah, there's a lot of energy to his work. And it's just such a joy. Like, I'm looking through them, and you see all these little, like, hand-drawn, like, sound effects. And as corny as it is, I love them. I love that stuff. Because to me, it's almost like there's that little bit of humor in it. You know, the campiness to it, which I adore. I love that. You know. If anything, I prefer, I think my work portrays a little bit of campiness. I suppose I could get really dark if I wanted to, but I don't know if that's all just me, like in the sense of just being that I love a little bit of camp. Those are the kind of stuff I grew up with. I mean, I'm sure many of you remember the Adam West Batman show, which is, to this day, is like the pinnacle. It's like so amazing, amazing, amazing show. All right, I'm gonna clean up this a little better because I got a lot of drawings out, and some of these I really don't need. But when I worked on a set, when I worked on that sketch card set or trading card set, I needed these. A lot of them, and I just keep them around now, which is great. And I mean, this is just the amount of characters I got in this does not compare to the Ultraman universe. There are like thousands of characters. Let me just say that right now. Thousands. All right. Okay, so this character right here is called Alien Zarab. Excuse me, Zarab. I gotta learn how to read my own spelling. All right, so let me look at his fingers. So you look at he has 4 fingers. Okay. So he's getting kicked. Maybe like somewhere in the shoulder. So I want to show like some pain things over there. But let's see. And again, thank you very much for coming by. Check out my rambling and my drawing. One of the things I tell any new artist out there is a level of confidence that you have to have. And again, this comes with just years of working experience. You know, about just drawing. You draw all the time. Like right now, just drawing and trying to perfect your skills. You know, make sure that your voice that you're putting out there in your work is your voice. That you're not trying to imitate someone or whatever. Just because someone says that, you know, your work looks like this and whatever, and then, you know, all of a sudden, can you draw like this person? No, don't do that. You draw like you. And if they like your work enough, then that's why they should be hiring you, or why they should like you. All right, yeah, cool character. Now again, you know, I'm going very somewhat like just loose line work and stuff like that, just to sort of get the figures. One of the things about it is that when you do it in nice light blue, it's funny too. I've gone back to using my non-photo blue pencils just to get the gestural, the shape and form of it, the energy of it, and then you start laying the pencil in. And for me, I lay the pencil in. The pencil is just another avenue that I'm going before I get to the final, which would be the inking. That's when, you know, I'm really laying down what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'll draw like some pieces. This is, I tell you, John Byrne, oh, huge fan. And one of the things about it is that he, you know, I'm so heavily influenced by just when he would draw stuff like this, like draw pieces of metal or pieces of rock being broke off something or whatever. It just added such an energy. Like you felt like there was like the camera just did a stop, and you catch her in a slow-mo of just, you know, whatever's going on, like with the Hulk smashing a rock that's been thrown at him or something, that you just caught something that's, you know, stopped in time. Amazing, amazing work. Every time I sit down, I really try to think of his approach. Alright. I tell you, Ultraman's got some really interesting characters. For anyone that asks, no, I have not seen any of the new ones. That again takes time to watch. It's funny, like my watching time is so limited because, as you can imagine, it's like the most important thing to me is, again, I'm a a commercial illustrator, freelance artist. I make my living drawing, so to be able to have some balance in my life, I have to look at where the most important amount of time, that I'm doing and putting into. So when it's work, I gotta focus on work. I can't sit and watch anime or cartoons all day. Oh, it looks like this head's gonna go beyond that, so I'm gonna have to add some more white. But that happens. So what I'll do is I'll put a little line that'll help me, give it a little guide and stuff. But that happens. It's like when things like this pop up. When I first was starting out, I'd have these freak out moments and stuff like that. But over the years, I just learned it's no big deal. You just have to adapt, and find a way around it. Draw some lines over there. Yeah. These are pretty, actually, once you put the white out, the Presto on it, it actually is pretty good to draw on too. Alright, so let me clean it up a little bit. I don't want to get a huge splotch on it, but see if I can get in there close enough. And I like these too because it's kind of breaking, so you get a sense that it's breaking the frame a little bit. And once more, I hope everybody's enjoying this. Please let me know. I technically have it on my main page, so if you are trying to contact me through some of the other areas where it's been posted, I'll have to check it out later. So hopefully you guys understand that and you're cool with it. All right. But if you want to sort of communicate with me, just go to the main page on this, where I just on my page, and you'll be able to talk to me there. But anyway, also got a Kickstarter going on, so by all means, please share and try to get the word out, because we're really, I just, I want to get to that milestone of 100 backers, because there's somewhere in my mind I'm sitting there going, 100 people are going to actually have copies of this, and it just sounds really good. And then it would be nice to really get that done this week. And we're literally, we're at the cusp. We're at 5 people. We need 5 people right now to come in and back our project, to get us over to the 100 backer mark. And then, and then we'll see how next week looks. And please remember that Kajus and Cowboys, this campaign right now is just for the 0 issue, which is more of an introduction to the character in the world. And it was funny, as we were talking on the interview last night, and Matthew was explaining it, is heavily influenced. I don't know how many people have watched the animated show Primal. It's a tremendous show, and literally there's no dialogue in it. So Matthew's approach to telling the story for the 0 issue was to literally do that. Like, there's no that much dialogue. It's just really the art, and and you're getting a sense of, you yourself have to kind of help, establish what the story. You're getting a sense of it, but the character himself, there's a lot more to be led, which is, we want to try to save for the actual series when it drops. We want you to be able to come back and get that wonderful addiction of wanting to go out and read a comic book and get the comic book and stuff like that. So we definitely didn't want to tell a lot. I don't think you need to, really. Oh, this character's pretty cool. And this is gonna be a lot of nice little. His face is all shattered. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to start on that. I've been very fortunate. I'm very happy. I've had the chance to work on a couple of different projects and stuff, and then I'm always feeling like I'm learning a little bit more on the various projects I've worked on. And the different styles, the different writers I've had the fantastic opportunity of working with. You know, I feel like I'm learning so much more from them too. You know. All right. Okay, let's see. Please let me know which main character is your favorite. I can definitely Google them up. Yeah, it's definitely a amazing time right now for the indie market. You know, a lot of creators are out there cranking out some really good stuff. You know, it feels like when the days of when back in the 80s when I would go to a comic book store, even like Newberry Comics back in the day. I know it's crazy, but Newberry Comics or Tower Records, you know, I don't know, maybe not Tower Records. It's like, well, I think Tower Records did have comic books. When I lived in Boston off of Mass Ave, there was Tower Records, and I think they might have had a floor with comic books, or at that point when graphic novels. But I remember Newberry Comics on Newberry Street was like, they had the music, but they also had a section for like comic books and stuff, and yeah. And then across the street, there was this bookstore called, let me get it right. Do I want to say Victor Hugo? Something Hugo. But I remember going in there, and it definitely was like old school books. Like it smelled like old, like that nice old smell. And the dude was cool, and I remember he had like a crate full of like sometimes old, just various comic books and stuff from the past and stuff. And I would, you know, I was so fascinated by them that I'd be like, oh yeah, and they were cheap, you know. It just was stuff where he just had, and yeah, it was great. But my point is that comic books are, I'm looking at it now, and you're seeing so many diverse projects and stuff that it has that vibe of like when I went to get comic books, there was such a diverse, and when I say diverse, it was just a sense of like there's so many different comic books. Like there's always something for someone. Like if you wanted underground, there's underground comics. You know, really, you know, hardcore underground stuff. If you wanted superheroes, there was superheroes. If there was fantasy, there was fantasy. Giant monster comics were always kind of tough. There were a few that were trying to get around, but they were always really tough. Unless they were like a major IP. There were a couple of people doing other like stuff in that association. Like again, you had Dynamo Joe that came out. Oh, there was another one too. I can't think of the name of it. There's a few, but again, when you're dealing with a market where people aren't used to seeing a lot of giant robots and stuff like that, then it's a tough battle. I think Antarctic Press tried their best, trying to put out a lot of different things that were quote unquote be considered more manga related. But in my head, I always was in the mindset of I don't want to draw a manga style. I want to draw the way Herb Trimpe did. You know, when he did the Shogun Warriors. I wanna have that feeling of energy and stuff in the work and the fun and an adventure and you know the way the robots moved and stuff. The robots, like if you read the Shogun Warriors and the way they moved and stuff, they it was like superheroes. They were just giant like the Avengers or something, the Fantastic Four. That's when I talk about him. I talk about it in the sense that they captured that, which was incredible. All right. All right. A little bit of Brooklyn. Draw some rubble and stuff on the bottom, like his feet's like dug into the earth. This is just landing in there. All right. All right, there we go. Draw something down the line. All right, I'm gonna refresh this and see what's going on. See if anybody's been yelling at me. Let's see. Hey, got a couple of watches and stuff, some likes. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Oh man, nice. Hey, Andres, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much. I just took a quick peek at that message you sent me, and again, thank you so much. He said he might have found the said he might have found the where that Ultraman US video is on YouTube. So I'll definitely check it out, man. That'd be cool. Although ideally, I would love to own it, you know, so I can be able to watch it at my own discretion and really enjoy it. It's always so tough because I'm still in that frame of mind where I wanna hold and own things. You know, maybe that's that collector in me too. But it's like it's really tough for me. Like if I watch something online, then I'm like, why do I not have this physically in my hands? You know, why can't I have this in my collection? On a rainy day, that means I have to look on YouTube. I don't want to look on YouTube, but thank you, man. I'm gonna definitely check it out and see. Hopefully it is. But I just remember it being so cool. It was really an amazing animation on it, and it was fun. And I remember watching it a couple of times, like, oh man, and I think I might have owned it on VHS. What's sad is that I had a lot of stuff on VHS, and when I went through a sort of spell during my life and stuff, I went through these spells with my life where I got rid of a lot of stuff. And I don't know if people get into that way of thinking sometimes where you just go enough's enough and done. And I was a huge collector. I mean, I had swords. I collected weapons and, well, swords mostly. It was a big thing. I was into knives and swords, but also like action figures and a lot of action figures. I remember at one point I had like all of the Justice League animated figures. I was on this big run because I love Bruce Timm's artwork and the design, and so I was. And yeah, and I had a ton of comic books. I had like a couple of boxes, not even a couple, a lot of boxes. Maybe like 20 or so long boxes. Could have been more. And I just remembered that when I finally left Boston, I kind of was at a point where I was done. I didn't want anything. I just started either trying to sell it, and just giving it away. I remember on one day I was living at a place it was in Brighton, Mass. I was trying to do a yard sale, but it was a lousy day and no one came and stuff. And then this couple came by, this dude with his girlfriend, and I never forget it. Like I just was so frustrated, and I had some beautiful swords. I had a ton of different swords, man, katanas, that kind of thing. When I say swords, like katanas and stuff like that, and these were like brand new stuff and whatever. And I just was so fed up, and I just told him, I said, dude, you want these, man? And he said, what? And I said, yeah, you want these? Just take them. And I gave them to him. Dude walking down the street with freaking swords. Yeah, I've gone through a couple of those moments in my life where it was almost a cleansing, getting rid of stuff. I went through a stage of just like, you just collect stuff, and then I'll be like, why did I collect this? This holds no meaning for me. And so, I don't know, over the years I've just gotten better now. I'm much more controlled and measured in the stuff that I get. Like if it's stuff that I get and I really want it, then I'll get it. But I'm not gonna just get something just to get it. Because I want to actually, have some kind of feeling for it. I don't want to just do it because it's, just to do it. Same thing. Like for me, I learned that lesson when I had to, unfortunately, sell my original my pages for Shogun Warriors. That's probably the one that still sticks with me a lot. It's really painful. but you know, because I needed money at the time, and so like I said, everyone's got their stories, right? You know, so yeah, there's always a time when you guys gotta kind of clean out everything and just kind of figure out how to get yourself balanced, and that was my balance for me. Now it's funny because now for me, when I collect, I'm very. It's not like, you know, yeah. I look at something and I enjoy it with my eyes, and then all of a sudden I go, I don't need that. I don't need it. Nope, I don't need it, and I just move on. Especially with the prices now of many of these figures and stuff. And I'm a huge die-cast metal guy. Like, I love die-cast metal. So it's kind of, oh, I don't like how that fan's looking. So a lot of the robots now, man, whew, you're seeing like big bucks, man. And I respect the fact the people who are like hardcore collectors, because they're in it, and that's I almost live vicariously through them. That's I think that's my point, is that I reached that point where I live vicariously. So when I see people post their collections and stuff, it's kind of nice. I think also for me, I would consider myself more of like an art collector, in the sense of I love artwork, especially when it features characters like super robots and stuff like that. So I still have stuff. I still got a couple of things here and there, but not like how I was before. No, a lot different. All right, let's do this guy. Hope I'm not boring anybody out there. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Oh, good man. Amazon's roughly okay. Oh, dude, man. Look at it. Andrew's just like, oh, it's found on Blu-ray on Amazon Japan for roughly $65. Oh, wow, dude. Maybe it's but is it like dubbed and stuff? Or even like subs? If it's subbed, I can go for that. Andreas, you're killing me, man. You're killing me, dude. The kindness. Look at that. The kindness. But that's what, you know what? Let me just say this right now. This is what the community's about. This is what Kaijus and Godzilla, the community, this is what it's about, man. You know, it's about, we all enjoy this stuff, and we all have different, different feelings toward it and stuff like that. And it should all be respected. Everyone has a different, like me, I'm a big fan of the Showa era stuff. When I draw, I think of the Showa era, but I dig the Heisei too, and the millennium, and then the stuff that's going on now. You know, I respect it, and I think that's the key thing. That all of these all fit hand in hand. We all got to work together to just respect it and respect people's choices and what they're digging, man. Someone likes something, fine. I don't need to. I don't feel like I need to convince somebody to like what I like. That's my point. I don't want to convince people. Do the hard sell. I don't think the hard sell ever works. You're trying to be like, oh man, you should like this, whatever. No. Some people that don't like $6 Million Man. I love $6 Million Man. You know? I read the book. I actually loved it so much that I read the book. Loved the book too. And then I was like, okay, now I gotta get the set, and then it did the pilot and everything. I love it. But I'm not expecting everybody to like it. You know, and I'm not gonna try to do a hard sell on people and try to convince them to like it. No, that's not the point. You know, everyone's got their flavor, man. Let people enjoy their flavor. You know, one of the things that I think that's the side of me that's really kind of anxious is the fact that once Kaijus and Cowboy is being published by Second Sight Publishing and it's really out there in the market, now it's like boom, now it's out there. Now it's like I'm already preparing myself for whatever feelings or whatever when people read it and stuff like that, and that's okay. I kind of expect that. You know, it's like I'll be fine with it. Trust me, I've had to deal with a lot of different things where people have said they didn't like my work or whatever, and I take it in stride. But it's good to be able to have something and to show it to people, so at least they can have some kind of emotion to it. I think every artist out there or every writer out there wants to at least have that kind of feeling. I mean, that's the point, right? You know, you want something. You want people to have some kind of reaction to your work. You know? I think I've always been a believer where there's room for everyone. You know, if you're someone who loves the more detail, monsters and stuff like that, then there's room for you. Just like there's room for people who made like something that, you know, again, like, I'm telling people right now, you need to go check out. If you have it, Kaiju Max by Xander Cannon is phenomenal. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, and I looked at it, and then his artwork with his writing works. I fell in love with this series. It's a tremendous series. It's an amazing series, especially in the context of what it does, showing how his homage to kaiju's and to Sentai and to all that stuff. That is a comic book that people should be checking out. As much as the stuff that's coming out of IDW with Godzilla and Legendary Comics and so forth. I don't think that it should just be one note. It should be many different notes so that we can all have some beautiful music. It's just me. That's how I feel. All right, I think this guy, please, I hope, okay, it looks like he has 3 fingers. Yeah, I gotta admit, working on the RR parts cards, Rich is gonna kill me. Yeah, that was fun, man. I gotta admit, that series definitely got me energized to work on more, you know, sketch cards, especially stuff that's in that realm, because I feel that's where my strength is. You know, and I worked on a lot of different sets and stuff in the past, and you know, and I did my best. I worked on them and stuff like that, and I always found something that kind of energized me about them. But as time went on, I'm like, I'm gonna start trying to work on stuff that really gets me charged. I don't know, since turning 50, man, I'm just like, man, this is my I'm at the half century mark now. Now I gotta start really sort of honing in on what really excites me. What's the kind of projects or something, or the projects that will get me excited, get me really, you know, jazzed up and stuff. And I was trying to imagine, like, you know, when Jack Kirby was doing the fourth worlds, and how jazzed he was when he was doing it, man. You can tell by the writing, man. I read those, man. I read the volumes, man. Amazing work. And that's the key thing. I think people have to look at it like, what is it that people are really jazzed in, instead of people fighting against? Or they treating it just like a job. Oh, it's just a job. I'm just going to get through it and blah, 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 and then just walk away from it. Done. Now on to the next. I want, you know, my key thing is I want to be jazzed about something. And I am. You know, kaijus and cowboys is something where I love the West. I do. I used to watch a lot. My mom really loved Clint Eastwood. And thanks, Andreas. All right, cool, man. I loved Clint Eastwood stuff and just a lot of the spaghetti westerns, but also, you know, surprisingly, I loved the Lone Ranger. You know, Clayton Moore. You know, let's take it back. You know, and I loved something about the West, even though the West was a pretty scary place. You know, there still is that sort of romantic mysticism about it too, the sense of the frontier and going out there and whatever and encountering different things as compared to what the reality of it in history. But overall, I still hold true to that. I love that sense of like people going out there and they just kind of, you know, surviving by your own wits and your own skill and two-fisted justice and that kind of stuff. I love that stuff. So I'm definitely getting really excited to explore this character, you know. And we still don't have a name. It's just he's called the Hunter. Well, Matthew's been calling him the Hunter Bot, and then I just been calling him the Bot with no name. So, and you know, it's kind of cool because remember, if the man with no name, Clint Eastwood's character, he was a very enigmatic character, man. That's what made him so cool, because you really didn't know. You didn't know what his whole angle was. He just was this dude who just kind of popped up, and he would get into these situations and stuff, and that was it. And then when the movie's over, you still was left with like, we don't know who this guy really is. And Clint Eastwood just kills it with that character. Oh, him, Good to Bad and Ugly, with my man Oh my God, Van Cleef. God, I don't say his name. Angel. He was called Angel Eyes in the movie. Amazing, amazing actor. Something Van Cleef. Why can't I think of his first name? Coolest looking dude around, man. You see him, and I'm like, yep. I remember as a kid, I was like, man, that dude, he just looks cool, man. Just like Charles Bronson. I remember in the Magnificent Seven, I think Charles Bronson was in that. Yeah, he was in it, man. I always thought Charles Bronson was a cool looking cat. And Richard Roundtree and guys like that. Yeah. Something about them. I was never into like dudes who were too, like every guy, every guy, like a guy who walk around, like you see him around the hood or whatever, but he still had a cool presence about him, around their look. More in the way they're acting, and then just basic looks. And it's a weird conversation, but that's how my mind's so visual. For me, looking at heroes, when I would think of like heroes and stuff, my heroes always were like ordinary looking dudes who kind of, but they did these extraordinary different things. But yeah, I love characters like that. Then you got the Green Hornet. I mentioned the other day to Jess about I don't know if many people remember what was his name? Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze. And I remember on Channel 56 at the time, they used to have Sunday movies. And I remember they always would play his movie. It was a movie done actually of Doc Savage. It was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It was a pretty cool movie. He was just this dude who was like, to this day, I don't know. I've never read the books on Doc Savage, but I just felt like he was almost like, he was like the ultimate perfection of human being. But I think I don't know if he did it by will or whatever, or whether it was some kind of medicines or regimen that he had. And if anybody knows, please chime in. But Doc Savage, he was a Man of Bronze, and he was this dude who was like, he was a scientist. He was super athletic and stuff like that. He just had and his skin was like bronze. It wasn't like tan. It was like a weird, like almost golden. But I think that he just was everything. And I just remember in the movie that they did, it was so funny, so good too. It's one of the things that I miss growing up, because back then they took chances with a lot of properties. So there was a lot of various properties that they just put out just because they needed to fill up just time, because TV and stuff like that. And so a lot of stuff came out. I don't know if people remember the Disney movie called Chomps. I don't even know if I don't even own it. Chomps was about, I remember getting the book too. It was about this robot dog, because I love robots. So it's about this robot dog. Think of Benji. I don't know if people remember Benji, his little shaggy dog. Benji, I remember going to movies seeing Benji and cry. But Chomps was like this dog who was a robot dog, and he was like pretty tough. Burst through brick walls and stuff like that. So Disney tried to capitalize on that kind of the whole superhero kind of robot franchise and stuff. This character has skinny legs, man. It's so funny. I love this character. I'll tell you one thing. When I look at these things, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is what got me so energized as a kid. That was I remember. That's one of the things I remember as a kid was when I first saw Godzilla, especially Showa era stuff. My first thought was like, how do you get a job doing that? Like, who are the people doing that? Like, they literally are sitting in a room and they're coming with the weirdest designs. That's why I've always appreciated Japan in the sense of, especially with their conceptual character design and stuff like that. It's been tremendous. This stuff is just so out there. You just feel like they're just like, well, let's see, we're gonna put a kitchen sink on this character's head, and it's on. I mean, that's really out there kind of stuff, and it's exciting. It's fun. It's like they broke the rules on so many things. Even if you see some of the stuff like the Sentai shows, what we call Power Rangers, that many of those shows, you can see so much design going on in there. And I remember as a kid, I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to get paid doing that. But I was like, okay, how do I get to Japan? Never made it to Japan, unfortunately. Not yet. One day. I put that in my Rolodex. I haven't traveled out of the United States since 2000. It's been a couple of years, yeah. I did a lot of traveling back before the 2000, early mid 90s into the 2000s a little bit, and then things just kind of changed after 9/11 and stuff. Then things kind of changed in my traveling plans and stuff. But I was traveling, doing little bit traveling here and there, off and on. I was a little partying him out there for a little bit. Oh man, you would. I always tell people you would enjoy me hanging out with me, man. I was all about like the party. And then as life has gone on, I'm more chilled now. Love to find me a nice lounge place and chill and listen to some nice jazz music or some chill music, man, and just get my chill on. That's where Frankie B's at these days now. I tell Justin, I'm like, yeah, these kids can have the clubs now. I'm done with the clubs. I did all my clubbing, and I didn't do a mosh pit, but I've had raves. I did a rave. I didn't throw it, but I've experienced that. Interesting. I've experienced college parties. I've experienced house parties, block parties. Yeah, memories. Like I said, you wanna have some really cool memories, man, before you leave this planet. So I can at least sit back and say, yeah, I did a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No shame in the game. All right. So there you go. So we got this side right here, and pretty much good. Let's see. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what else. I feel like I want to put another character here. You know, I don't like the way this leg is. See, and this is what happens with me. And I'm glad you guys are seeing this, because in the space of the time I'm drawing this, my brain is starting to go crazy, and it's just like, I don't like that. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring out this little guy right here, which I'm going to say this right now. I usually use my, where you at? I can't find it. My Kneaded Eraser. But this time around, I'm going to bring out the old Try and True electric eraser. This is an electric eraser. I rarely use this thing, but I'm going to use it right now. I don't like this leg. I feel like there should be another creature right here in the foreground to add a little bit more dimension. So I'm going to put that open. I opened that up, so I just got rid of that leg. That was an electric eraser, which I suggest you should get one. But also get a Kneaded Eraser, which I'm hoping it didn't fall out somewhere, because then I have to break a new one out. Like I said, I am a very messy artist, and my studio is not the biggest of studios. So, you know, it's not as big as my previous studio that I had when I had my own house and stuff. But, you know, you gotta work with what you got, right? Can't sit there and complain about everything. You gotta try to make it work. I always hear my teachers in my head. Gotta make it work, Washington. Don't be sitting there making excuses. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is probably break out a new one. This is gonna be a new Kneaded Eraser. I like these little containers they give you. I think I'm only gonna need I don't think I'm gonna need the whole thing. So there you go. Pull up the little plastic. This is a Kneaded Eraser. I tend to use this pretty much for everything, especially when it comes to like when I'm doing pencil for comic pages and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it. Yeah, cut it this way. Cut off a piece, nice and clean, easy peasy. I'll put the other piece in this nice container that they give you. It's getting nice, huh? If I can just open it. Oh, did they make it Frankie proof all of a sudden? That's so weird. Oh, there we go. I figured it out. All right, so put that piece in there, save that. Oh, I want to cut that up. But Kneaded Erasers are pretty cool. I've been using these since art school. Faber-Castell, yeah, they've been around forever. All right, so let's do this. So yeah, I got that out. But yeah, this is good too. You know, you should definitely have a lot of tools in your arsenal. So here, I'm gonna actually draw another character in, really close up. And so who should I draw in? I think it's gonna be one of the characters that are kind of like four-legged. It's an interesting one. This guy right here. Look at this guy, Gavadon. It's kind of interesting, huh? Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. All right. So as you can see, I'm gonna try to gesture out his head. I look at the character. Now this is where gesturing helps you. You know, because the thing is that you're just really just trying to get down the shape of things, and then you can kind of build up off of it and stuff. And I'll probably have to erase in there some more, but I tend to do this technique where it's like you put something in the foreshadow real extreme. This is something that I learned from just looking at artwork from back then, back in the day with early comic books and stuff. If you look at a lot of the old comic books, you know, the retro stuff, they would always put things in the foreground and stuff, just to make it a little bit more exciting. You want to give a sense that this is that you have some perspective going on. So what I do is I draw this character very fast too. Just think of, I'm looking at the picture, but I'm not allowing myself to get so engrossed with the picture. I'm not trying to, like, someone looking and then try to get like photo, like perfect. The thing is that you got to remember that you are the one. This is my style. This is my voice. And so I'm taking what somebody else did, an amazing photograph that somebody took, and then transforming it into, the next level with my style with it. Not to copy that other amazing artist that took the picture. And then building off of it. I like this character's teeth. Like, he has human, it's so weird. It's like human teeth. So I'll do this, like he's really up close. And again, if people see a lot of my work, they'll see that I tend to, you'll see helicopters and you'll see things like this. And I did this for a lot of different things. I do it for, in my sketch cards. When I do sketch cards and stuff, I tend to, just to fill out certain things, I'll put a character in there in the foreground. Because it's a good technique. It's a good way to just kind of fill something up and then give a sense that there's more going on, to the story. So there you go. So the lips. So this character is Gavadon. And then he has like one of the things I loved is how a lot of these creatures had these eyes, pupils and stuff like that. I personally think it's great. I think it's fantastic that they were doing this. All right. See, this is always a problem with me. And I always tell people when people commission me is that sometimes, I'll have an idea of where I want to go with something. And the next thing I know, I'll look at it and go, ugh. I'll have that grunt. And it's like, where can I take this? Frank, what can you do with this? All right. Once again, thank you so much for coming to check me out doing my little Facebook live drawing stream here. But also, by all means, definitely check out our Kickstarter campaign for our comic book, 0 issue of Kaijus and Cowboys. The book has been picked up as a series to be published by Second Sight Publishing, which we're very grateful of, and will be coming out next year. So this year, I'm going to be drawing like a madman. You guys probably won't be seeing me too much. You'll be like, where'd he go, man? First he was out there, now he's all gone. Yeah, I'm working, man. I'm handling my business. That's how it is, handling your business. All right. But overall, thank you so much. We're trying, for me, I would love to see us get to at least the 100 backer mark this week. Because in my mind, I'm sitting there going 100, it'd be amazing to have 100 people, knowing that 100 people are going to have that comic in their hands. 100 people. We got some amazing reward tiers on there. It looks like I'm going to be doing some sketch cards for people, which is great. It's always fun and great. And so people are going to be getting some original artwork and stuff, which is always fantastic. I always wondered that. I always feel like, again, do people understand the level of what original artwork is and the value of it too? Do people even look at original artwork as value? You sit there and it's like, man, I would give anything to own some Jack Kirby artwork. But then also not just Jack Kirby. There's a lot of newer artists. There's artwork that I have from artists when I used to go out to San Diego Comic-Con. There's, some artists who became pros I bought years ago that I have sitting around in my portfolio. Just going down Artist Alley at the time and was like, hey, what's up? And he was like, hey, what's going on? And I ended up purchasing the artwork just because I loved it. So, yeah, you never know, man. I always wondered that. If you get the chance to purchase original artwork, I say go for it. If you can afford it. If you can't, pay your bills. Period. Handle what's important to you. But you know, if you get the little extra or whatever, then you know. I think one of the key things about the indie market is that we all have to remember that the us indie people out there, myself included, and Matthew, is that you know we've always been here. You know, this is when you talk about how much you enjoy the Ninja Turtles and characters like that and stuff. You got to remember that that's who they are. We're at the place where they were, probably with more advantages than they did. I'll be honest with you. It's a fact of the internet and stuff like that. We actually have an advantage that they never had. Like these individuals, Peter Laird, and Kevin Eastman, they didn't have the advantages. I couldn't even imagine what they would have done, or Brian Pulido, what they would have done with the internet if they back then, with their capability of hustling and just getting it out there and whatever. But nevertheless, they made it happen. ElfQuest, other fantastic indie books. They've always been out there, and so now we're this next wave. We're the next wave that's coming out with stuff. And the thing is that the fans have to be there with us. We're coming up with the material and the product. Now we need you. We need you to look on the left side of the field. If you're only looking on the right side where all the big guys are, and look, we don't. You know, I always tell people I don't want people not to stop looking at the right side of the field, because the right side of the field it's okay too. You know, it's like, you know, you're gonna enjoy Marvel. If you happen to enjoy Marvel, you happen to enjoy Batman, you happen to enjoy Superman, the X-Men. Okay, that's your prerogative. I think that's a great thing. I still enjoy those characters as well. But with that said, can we at least be mindful of those people that are on the left side of the field? That's all. You know, one of the things about it when I used to go to shows was I was always mindful of that, looking at different artists and stuff like that. You know, they used to have, what was the books they would have back then? What were they called? The little mini comics. The names like escaped me, guys. So sorry. If anyone can answer that one. What's the name? It was like these mini comic books that people would do for cons and shows. And it's escaping me like the name. But yeah, it's all about, like, you know, it's okay to look to the left side of the field. That's all. We're over here. Anytime I hear people talk about, like, you know, I see it sometimes in posts, and they'll be like, oh, there's not enough of this comic or especially with kajus and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, there's not enough. No one's not doing it. And it's like, yeah, people are doing it. You know, unfortunately, you know, we don't have the luxury of owning the IP of being able to pay for the licensing of Godzilla, of course. You know, if anybody had that chance to do Godzilla or Gamera or any of those things, it'd be tremendous. It'd be amazing. But nevertheless, we're on the left side of the field with our fledgling idea and our optimism that somehow this has, you know, that we can at least spark some kind of excitement and joy. I would never be bold enough to say on the level of what Godzilla and those other IPs are, because realistically, they put the time in. You know, I will never ever, you'll never hear me say something like somehow better, because that's just ludicrous to say. Those IPs, there's a reason why people love those IPs. There's a reason why people buy the merch. There's a reason why people watch the films and stuff like that. These are generational IPs. And the thing is that we're not a generational IP. Well, not yet. Hopefully one day we could be. You know, optimistic on that. Maybe one day. You never know. That's the fun part of what we're doing, is that no one knows what's going to be a hit or miss. No one truly does. But also another thing too is that if we as the creative team to stay focused on what we're trying to do and what we're trying to say and what we want people to see, then regardless of what, we've already succeeded. We've won. We've got it done. Not allow ourselves to get detracted by things that, you know, oh man, I'm gonna try to sell this and make movies and make a lot of money and blah blah blah. That kind of stuff. I feel for many creators, because if that's the thing that's sort of guiding your concept, then I don't know. It's gonna be a tough climb for you. You just made climbing a reasonable mountain into the Himalayas. You know, that's just my humble opinion. You just transformed something that could have been easy. You're like, all right, yeah, this is gonna, well, not even easy, but a tough, you know, tough little mountain climb, you know, but reasonable. Like you'd be able to say, okay, I could actually do this. But all of a sudden, you just took something and said, okay, now I'm gonna do the Himalayas without a guide. See, good luck on that. You know, all the luck to you. It does not get easy. It's a lot of work. All right. Okay. This guy. Yeah, look at that. Put a little head up there. These are pretty fun. I have to admit, the quality of these sketch covers are phenomenal. These are pretty good sketch covers. All right. Okay, who's ready for Jet Jaguar? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna close this up. And you know what I'll do, just to be on the safe side. I'm always so nervous. Let me grab a piece of paper. You know what? I'll slide this. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this pad of paper. That's me. I'm always grabbing whatever I see around me. Now we're gonna focus on Jet Jaguar here. You guys are still with me? Still hanging in there? All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. A little drink. Time for Jet Jaguar. All right. Now the good thing about it is that I do have a reference book with Jet Jaguar, which is right over here. Sorry, Godzilla. This is a fun book. It's a great book. It's an authentic visual book of Jet Jaguar. He is by far one of my fave characters. Really good character. Look at the design. Just amazing stuff in here. The suit. Alright. So, sorry, I gotta fold it. But you know what? This is what books were for. So I gotta fold it out. So I got my reference for them. Now I can start building it. Ugh. Okay. Alright, so the theory, my working story in my head is that Jet Jaguar was coming in. This is almost a continuation of that piece that I did to print. Although with that print piece, I created my own sort of demonic creatures that they were battling. But in this version, Jet Jaguar is coming to aid Ultraman against some of his enemies. So that's what I'm working in my head. And I don't know if other artists work that way as well. Like they kind of sort of create scenarios in their heads to kind of aid in the artwork. But I tend to do that. I try to create like little scenarios. Just, you know, I feel like I can draw better when I have some level of a story to help guide it, instead of just drawing right out into the, you know, just trying to crank something out and just be like, oh, okay, there's no story to it, no reasoning to it. What a cool character, man. I wish that Toho could have done more. I know he did, you know, Godzilla versus Megalon, but I wish that they could have capitalized more on Jet Jaguar, because he definitely became a fan favorite. You know. All right, let's see. There's something about like the way his eyes are. It's weird because you can look at certain parts where it looks like he looks evil, and there's other parts where he looks like he's really good, like almost sort of like sad kind of. Again, you look at just a great character design. My first thought when I first saw him was that he definitely mirrored a lot of the like Mecha Godzilla, that kind of design in the face and everything, which I loved. I love that aesthetic. I felt like it's almost like the Terminator kind of. And I will admit that the character, the man with the bot with no name and Kajus and Cowboys is definitely influenced. I immediately was like, I love that fact of the smiling face. I'm a huge fan too of Shazam or the Captain Marvel Shazam, and just the fact of how eerie his smile is, like the fact that someone that powerful, what the things they could do to you, you know. I remember that was like the coolest thing. I don't know how many people remember the Saturday morning Shazam Power Hour, and then they had the cartoon by Filmation, but they also had the live action, which was amazing. And I have some of those. I have some of the live action. I think also in the animation and Filmation ones too. Those are fun. But I just loved it. Had a chance to finally meet Jackson Boswick too, who played Shazam, and it was I told myself I wasn't gonna have a fanboy moment, and I totally had a fanboy breakdown. It was weird because it was like that moment where I'm just like, this is the individual who I watched on Saturday mornings, you know. CBS. CBS Saturday mornings. Trying to get my sister to watch it too, and she's all like, man, I want to see that stuff. But yeah, he was so cool. He was so cool as Captain Marvel. I love them all. Highways and byways, driving the Winnebago with the lightning bolt on it. Oh, so cool. But yeah, just that idea, like I always felt that was always so weird about Shazam, is that he's got this squinting eyes, and he got that smile on his face, but he can literally tear you apart. You know, I think that's kind of like my appeal with him. I was like, he could just do all these things, but he's just very like, hey, he's a kid. He's a kid in his superhuman body. It's crazy. All right. I hope everybody's doing really good. And now I'm working on Jet Jaguar. I'm going pretty good, you know, because I definitely want to get the pencils and stuff out. Thanks everybody. I see got like 10 hearts and cares and likes and stuff. Appreciate it. Thank you. Really do. I always say, like, one of the things about it is that I appreciate when people take the time to want to check out and look at my stuff. There's a lot of different artists out there and stuff like that. So I feel that honestly anybody who responds to what I do and taking that moment to just, even comment about it, whatever, that's an important thing for me. You know, you're taking some time out. You don't have to. I mean, I look at it in that terms. Like, people don't have to do anything they don't want to do. So same thing. My approach with our Kickstarter is the fact that, people are choosing to, contribute to this campaign, and that's something, like, who are we? We're just two creators, trying to do something. And if you're taking the time and you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, I see something in this, then that to me is, that leaves me speechless. Because there's a lot. There's so many. There truly are. Like, you just take a moment and look on. I'll just tell anybody, look on some of these crowdfundings, like Indiegogo and stuff like that. It's a lot of creators out there, man. A lot of good stuff too. I mean, really good stuff. Like, whew, the level of stuff that's coming out, man, it's insane. It's crazy. But in saying that, what's so great about it is that it's so different, so unique. Everyone's so different in what they're doing. It's not, there's so much variety in the stuff that you're seeing, which is amazing. Let's get that in. Wow. Go Jet Jaguar, go. Yeah, he's definitely a fun character. Looking forward to watching Godzilla Singular Point. I've been trying to just not really, because there's a lot of information going out, people putting stuff out, and so I've been really just shut my brain on a lot of that stuff, just focusing on my art and listening to podcasts or YouTube shows or whatever. But definitely, because it's just weird. Like, for me, I remember growing up and we would see one commercial for filming, and that was it. And then you got the big surprise when you went to the movie, whatever that was, whatever the thing is, and I like that. And so for me, I've made a conscious choice where I go, you know what, I'm just gonna zone out on all this stuff, and I'll just see it when it drops. You know, I'm just not one of those people where I want to know everything about something. I like the sense of being surprised, you know. But with that said, it looks interesting. I end up getting the because again, when I was talking earlier about the whole fact of me collecting, how my collecting has changed, I saw the I'm a huge fan of Jet Jaguar, and I saw the design for the character in the movie, and I was just like, man, you know, I personally liked it, so I was like, I gotta get that character. You know, just even for reference. I think a lot of times now when I get stuff, there's a part of me where I just think of reference, just great reference to have. Nothing beats having like an actual three-dimensional image, but it's not image, three-dimensional object in front of you where you can sort of look at it and sort of, you know, it helps you with your drawing and stuff of that character. And I have various figures too. Like I said, you have to build up your arsenal. You got to have as much as you can to help you. What's cool now is that I found an individual who made like these little buildings and stuff, custom buildings, and I use those as well too, especially when you're drawing giant creatures and stuff like that. So I'll put some of my monsters together and take photos of them so you get comparison, and there you go. One of the things about it is learning to be able to just draw by just looking at something and not getting into constant tracing stuff. You want to really be able to still maintain your own voice. Voice design, man, so good. So let's see, that goes out a little bit. And I hope everybody's enjoying. I hope the weather's really good. I hope you're feeling well, you know. If you're doing some art, keep that art flowing, please. Your creativity strong. If you're a writer, artist, musician, just you know, just do what you love, man. Just keep it going. Don't get bogged down into nonsensical stuff that wastes time. Just, you know, do stuff that makes you happy. That's the lesson right there. I'll do that a little bit more tighter in. A little bit thinner. Okay. I see, it's pretty funny, like when you start getting there, because once I laid down the gestural form, now here comes the building, and some things start looking, you know, weird. You go, oh man, that looks a little weird or whatever, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't really freak out a lot. I used to with art. I just kind of just go with it, man. Let it guide me, man. It'll get me to where I need to get to. Confident in that. All right. So it looks like this leg, this section is so much more smaller, excuse me. So now I'm gonna have to finagle, and that's okay. No, we don't like that one. I'm gonna use this one. So I'm gonna come in. This is my kneaded eraser. I gotta rework this. Because the thing about it, he's turning out to be a lot more longer than what I anticipated. So that's okay. Go back in and start working on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that leg. Let's see. Yeah. See, I miscalculated. And that happens. Now, one of the things about it is if you just don't, you open it up. I can get a sense of perspective on here. So maybe because he's gonna be much more closer. We'll just lay that down right there. So that's much more closer in. Okay. And then I'm gonna have to change that foot now. Yeah, see, so much more bigger than what I originally had laid out. That happens, you know. So we'll just do. It's where those great action lines come in. All right. I know it's always tough to really see it and start laying it out, but all right, let's do this. First, let's get his belt done. I'll start first like that. And then much more wider. All right, so now let's do his belt inside. So it's always interesting trying to do stuff when you're just looking at it on sight. I gotta make it smaller. Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, let me put the all right, here we go. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. A cool character. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he's gonna be in the Godzilla Singular. Should be a joy. Like I said, I'm just happy that Godzilla is on Netflix and HBO Max, and that Ultraman is being done by Marvel, and I'm just happy that these properties are coming over here, and that a new audience can kind of, you know, or old audience as well, can just really enjoy these films and stuff like that. And then also it helps us. It helps the people on on the left side of the field who are doing our own IPs, you know, original concepts and IPs and stuff that deal with kaiju's or robots. You know, the sun may shine on us. You know, just the sun shined on two guys from New Hampshire years ago, and they became legends. So from the Peter, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. So I think that that's possible. I think it's possible. You just gotta believe it will come. But you gotta remember also, you gotta put a lot of hard work into it too. You gotta want it to come. Can't just expect it to be somehow it's gonna be this fantastic hit or whatever. I don't even think like that. I think more in the term of more realistic. I go, well, if people dig it, I'm looking in the sense of like people who genuinely just, they look at it and they get something sparked from it. They see a potential there or something, I think that's always, I think in most creators, the sense of like, there's some people can look at something and they go, okay, I'm signing in on for the journey kind of mentality. All right, let's look at you. You're an interesting character. It's almost like a bug, like a beetle. All right. All right. So here's another one of those things we throw up in the foreground. I don't know why there'd be a water tower, but hey, man, I'm gonna throw a water tower in there. And again, just really quick, just to get the shape. Get a water spout there. There we go. Okay. Hope your day's been going good so far. If you're drawing, hey, keep it up, man. Don't stop. I always get the question, like, oh, how do you do this? And it's like, well, I've been doing this for 30 years, there's no other way to get around that. It's like, I've been out here on the grind for 30 years working in the art industry. And I think that's, I try to emphasize that to people, how important that is. Like the fact that the art industry is a vast industry. It's not just, if you choose to work in something more selective, sort of like comic books or, animation or whatever, like, then you're making a choice to work in that sort of selective avenue of the art industry, and again, that's your choice. But the thing about it is that if you truly want to open yourself up to the full range of the art industry, then you start looking into different things. That means being a commercial illustrator like me, where you're working for ad agencies and doing comps, and you're doing layouts, and you're doing storyboards, and occasionally sometimes maybe a keyframe or two. A production studio, the same thing, or even in an animation studio, but more in concept, and you're concepting, and you're doing storyboards and stuff. I mean, those are the things that you have to kind of, you have to ask yourself that question. Are you opening yourself up for the bigger, like, what the industry is about, or are you going to say, okay, I'm going to stick right here at this place right here in the industry? That's a very selective market, and I know that I'm going to be competing against not one, not two, but possibly hundreds, if not thousands of other people who are equally, if not better than I am in whatever, because that's always going to be the case. There are tremendous artists out there. There really are some tremendous artists out there, and there's a reason why they're out there. Especially those that have been in the field, that have already done, like, maybe, you're talking 10. I would say, I really say for the ones that are like the 10 to 15 year up, then that's what you're going up against. You have to prepare yourself for that and be realistic. These people have been in there for a long time, and they put the time in, and they built up relationships and so forth, and that's what you're going up against, and you gotta respect it. That's when I got in. I respected that. I knew it right off the bat. I was like, yep, I'm gonna climb this ladder. There's nowhere in that I ever, disillusioned myself to what I was capable of doing, and somehow everyone like somehow I'm like the greatest thing since sliced bread or whatever, you know, that kind of mentality. I knew right off the hand. I said, this I'm on the ladder right now. I got to start climbing. And then the question then became, how much do I want it? And then once I mentally had that in my head, like I want this really bad, then I was like, okay, you're in it. It's all about asking yourself that question. How much do you want it? How much do you want it more than the other person over there? That other person that's putting like, you know, hours and hours into this? How bad do you want it? Get that a little wider. I would suggest that more artists go out there and technically do like I'm doing as well. You know, it's a great way to just sort of share what you're capable of doing to people. The key thing as any artist out there is that how do you get eyes on your work? It's just like a writer. A writer needs people to read what they're writing. You know, then what's the point? So the thing is, as an artist, as a person who works visually, you need to be able to get your work out there. You know, it needs to be seen. So how do you get about that? Well, you know, you do like this. You have a day where you feel like you want to recharge your battery, and you get on and you draw and you engage people. You know, like I enjoy talking with people, and I enjoy communicating. If people comment, I will comment back. I don't think I've never not commented back. You know, maybe some people said they didn't like my work or whatever. I said, okay, fine. I didn't lose my mind over it or anything. I just said, okay, you know, it's just a sense of flavor. You know, everyone's entitled to have their own different flavor. You know, somebody doesn't like my work, it's not the end of the world. You know, don't get really wrapped up in all that stuff. You know, that's where I feel. So you know what? See, again, last minute idea. See if I can do it. You'll never know unless you try. So I'm gonna show it like his head is kind of. Change that. Instead of crack, instead of break. Maybe. I like that crack. It's like crack. Let's do that. Yeah, I was looking at some of the old stuff that Frank Robin was doing for the Invaders, man, and they had like these nice even like I also have excuse me, I'm jumping all over the place. I also have the it was a gift given to me, the Werewolf by Night, and this is massive thick book, pretty much of the series, full color, and just looking at the words like Mike Plug did a lot of the artwork, the early stuff, and it's so cool seeing how they incorporated the sound effects in with the art. Oh man, I love that stuff. They would do cool things like right now. This is what I'm gonna do. I saw this and I was like, I'm gonna try this. Where he puts like cracks. They put like cracks into the word and stuff. Like again, it's making the word part of the experience of the whole thing, you know, of the artwork. So yeah, look at that. Crack. It's crazy. That's one thing about me is that I never shied away from just trying something new and then see what happens. I mean, that's how you know. You gotta try to figure it out, but you won't know unless you take the chance. Right? All right. Oh, man, look at that. All right. Jetta Jagaloa. Yeah, very cool character. Another character I love, which surprisingly I don't draw a lot of. I think I've drawn him once, actually. I can't think of another one, was Dimagen. Love Dimagen. Love that concept. Just an angry stone god. I actually have to figure somewhere. He put a figure a few years ago, and I pulled the trigger and was like, I gotta get it. Just on the principle of just having reference of the character, you know. I wish they had the calm face one, or maybe not. I think I might have the calm. See, here's the problem is that a lot of figures that I have, even new ones, is that they're just sitting in the closet. I just don't have the room to put them out. So I got a lot of stuff. I got stuff from like Christmases, a few Christmases where they haven't even opened up. Yeah. Sure, I'm not the only collector out there that's like this. Sort of sitting there, you got all this artwork or whatever. Well, it's like I've lost some great pieces too. I mean, I had a beautiful statue, probably the character Bionica or something like that, and I took it out. I don't know why. All these years, you know, and beautiful statue, and then took it out and it fell and it shattered. That one, and then the one that really got me was I spent some money, and this was, I don't know if you remember, there was a Terminator statue that came out, diecast, all metal, diecast metal, and had this character, had this thing for the longest time, and again, one of those moments, took it out, that would be kind of cool, put it out, and then it fell, and it shattered, it broke, so I have the pieces like all collected somewhere, and that figure now is like, you know, people asking an exorbitant amount of money for it. I like the head, so I just kept all the pieces and whatever. But that's one of those things where inside of me, I just was like, oh, I guess I wasn't meant to have it, huh? I reached that point in my life where I'm just like, oh, I guess it's not meant to be, huh? Not now. I've really changed my view on the whole thing of like getting obsessive over stuff. I just go, oh, okay, not meant to be. Not meant to be, not meant to be. I think I value more of this right here, drawing art and, you know, and people checking it out and stuff like that. That to me, it's bringing me back to that, like the excitement of that. That's what drives me. That's the most important thing. I suppose if I wasn't drawing and I just was collecting, then yeah, maybe I'd probably have a more, you know, reaction to it. That I'd be like, oh man, no, you know. But again, that's my whole point where I'm living vicariously through other, like actual like collectors, like people out there that put the time in and they will paint up a figure and make the figure look tremendous. I look at those and I go, man, that's pretty cool. So I live vicariously through them. You know, the ones who are capable of spending like, you know, money and stuff to get these really super expensive figures. It's pretty cool, man. All right. Yeah, I can't wait. I have to look at all my cards. I don't think I posted all my cards from the they were approved, so that was cool. But all my cards from the Ultraman set. It was fun. Like I said, it definitely was fun, and I'm just very fortunate that I was able to be on the set, you know. Very honored and fortunate, yeah. things just turned out really well, so I was able to be on it. Yeah, right. Look at you, look at you, look at you. Throw a little bit of shadow, quick shadow in here, gives me an idea where I want to lay stuff. I honestly, I remember once I was on a show and some person asked me about, where you're laying on lights, and it's weird how my mind is. I just kind of just lay stuff out. I don't. It just something feels right. I just go for it. I mean, the fundamentals are there already for years and years of doing it, but also I think a lot of my the way I draw is just a very natural kind of like what I felt like when I was a kid. The rules weren't so crazy. Like even though I've worked in the industry and there are rules, of course, but there's still a part of me where as a child there weren't rules. I just could draw whatever I felt. I felt good, so I'll just draw whatever and not have to worry too much about it. So. All right. You guys are still with me? This is definitely, it's so weird sometimes because I'll sit here and I'm drawing and it's like, this is so different than when I do the hyperlapse, because then hyperlapse is so fast and you have the music playing, it's just really quick and it's almost it's like you're seeing magic, like something that's penciled suddenly becomes inked, rendered, and whatever. But when you do the live stuff, it's kind of like me just sitting here and just trying to, and draw it out for you, and hopefully not bore you enough so you're just like, okay, turn the channel. Channel needs to get turned. Oh man, got my power drink. It's technically like a what is it? Electrolyte, orange electrolyte with drink, and then got some fiber in it and stuff like that. Yeah, get that fiber, and it just is really refreshing. I tend to always, like, year round, put ice in my drinks. I love a lot of ice. I think it's more just the sense of having ice. It's nice and cold, and also just crunching on ice. Ooh, still a little sore. Then tomorrow we gotta do some strength training. Well, so we're gonna try something. She just said she found a new. We do a lot of the HasFit. I don't know if you guys know about HasFit, but HasFit's pretty good. A lot of body techniques, but also a lot of like yoga techniques and stuff, which is great. I mean, it's really helped me. I never was I was never really good in stretching. Stretching was never my forte. It was kind of, when I was going to the gym, I had the mentality of just like, I just want to lift heavy weights kind of mentality, And again, like I said, I've already had like 2 surgeries, one in my neck and then one in my lower spine, and again, I look back at my life and I think that was just really the wear and tear that I put on my body because I just wasn't doing the right things, like stretching and really understanding my body, being more aware of it. But now I do. Going through all that stuff, I'm like much more aware. It's important, as I travel into the next half of my life story. All right, let's see. Put some stuff here. Building. I could just be street or whatever, maybe. If I have a piece of it just broken off, make it not so clean. And this right here is the last minute stuff where my brain is just kind of going, okay, is there more that you can do? This is that fine line where you kind of have to be like, okay, like, you know, I got to pull back a little bit. So in here, I'm just going to do a simple. Originally, I was going to have windows, but I'm like, yeah, that's too much. I've been doing a lot of stuff with windows. So I'm just going to do some quick lines just to give me a guide, but it's going to be a brick establishment. Okay, let me just draw lines, and then I just give indication, and then I know that when I go into this, then I can clean it up. All right. And should I make brick? If I want to do all that brick. You know what? As I changed my mind, I think I'm gonna do a picture. I don't know what I'm gonna do the picture for, but it saved me drawing a bunch of bricks. Oh yeah, saved me a little bit from doing a bunch of bricks. Yeah, I don't feel like drawing bricks. Just not motivated right now. Yeah, that could probably change too when I finally start inking, and then all of a sudden I go, oh, come on, Frank, put some bricks in there. All right. All right. Draw like some smoke. There you go. Draw a little fire in there. So you guys can see it. Sorry about that. Draw a little fire. Fill up the space. Ooh. You always gotta put destruction in there. Fire, some smoke. Sorry, smoke cut into the claw over here. Fix that. All right. Let's see what time is it. Can't believe it. Man, not bad. Cranking. Again, I just want to thank everybody for coming by and stuff and hanging with me. You know, really appreciate that. And also I appreciate the fact that, you know, if you can share the Kickstarter that we have, the campaign, can we get to the 100 backer mark? Can we? That's now we're down to the question of it. We're like 5 backers away from it. Can we do it? You know, and I believe so. I believe we can do it. You know, with the help of people like yourself out there who, you know, who are admirers of the indie comic scene, and also of Kaiju Comics and Kaiju Comics and related stuff, related material. So, you know, definitely appreciate it if you could. Or if you can't, then just help by just sharing. Sharing is another great thing too. Sharing is caring, isn't that how it goes? You should use that. I remember for years I always hear people, yeah, you should do comic book stuff, and it's like I look back at my bibliography, and it's like, yeah, but I've worked on a ton of different comic book stuff. That's what I say inside my head. I just go, well, you know. Sometimes people see me posted, and they go, oh man, you should work in comics. You should do some comics. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't done them. And that's cool. I think this would be, well, let me see. There's a few that I worked on where I was sort of up in the headline, like me and the creator and stuff. But what we're pushing for with Second Sight Publishing will be a 12 issue limit series, 12 issue series. So we'll see. This would probably be the most ambitious that I've ever worked on in that degree. All right. Draw some buildings in the background. Draw some buildings, little silhouettes. It's a good way just to sort of, you know, give it some form. You know, make sure that these characters sort of pop out. Yeah, I'll put some smoke in here. All right. Papermates aren't that bad, huh? Boy, still going pretty strong. All right, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Put that in there. Yeah. Now I look at it and I go, I can't wait for the inking. Like, this is all like prelim, this kind of stuff, you know. Some people actually go detail, and I've done some detailed pencils, but when I know that I'm gonna come in and more like dry ink and stuff, then I kind of, you know, I kind of keep it a little bit. Well, this would be, I consider, looser than what I show some fire and stuff. Fires back and forth. And come in. I'll definitely use a ruler for it's in the back. The city, silhouette of the city and stuff. Just to kind of round it off a little bit, you know? Just to give a sense that there's some, like they've definitely mapped out a segment of like the city, like there's a battle royale area. And these guys are fighting in and stuff. Probably should draw something for scale. So maybe put a little bus in there or something. Put a little bus in there, huh? And there you go, just a little simple indication or something, just to get a sense of height. Draw some more rubble. Draw some rubble and stuff like that. All right, again, yeah, so I was able to get in, so it's technically 4 bad guys, no, yeah, 4 bad guys and just these 2 guys. These 2 characters trying to save the city, save the world. All right, maybe let's see, what can I put in here? Yeah, I'll put a little caricature of myself. Gonna do that. Big glasses. That's what it's looking. All right, put that little smile on there. I used to do that a lot. Back in the day, I used to do caricatures of myself. That was pretty neat. But I started doing them as rarities so that, you know, to mix it up. So when I would sign something, some people would get sometimes the character, you know, the character, some caricatures. Sometimes they wouldn't. And then what's up? All right, everyone, what's happening? looks like this is it for now. All right. So we'll see. So I was able to get this character up in the foreground, and I'll probably tweak it a little bit. Make this look a little bit more, but so what I'm gonna do is this guy's gonna get the nice big bold line. So you see that he's really up close. And then the eyes pan back, and then we got this shot right here, and then we have another character behind him. And then right here we get Jaguars cracking someone, kicking someone on the head. And it's funny, as you saw, like how it changed. Because originally when I rough sketched it out, it was like I was just trying to get the shape and stuff, and I saw that I went a little bit more shorter than what I needed. So I had to, refinagle it and stuff. But that happens, you don't you say, okay, now this is all, you want to throw it away and stuff. No. You want to see if you can make it work. And that's the key thing. So anyway, wow. All right. Well, hey, I just want to thank everyone for coming on by. Let me see. Usually I would have stuff to show people on that show. Well, here, while I got the campaign going on, why don't I show you some stuff from that I can show from Kajus and Cowboys. And hopefully it would excite you to go on over and become a backer. All right, so pretty much with Kajus and Cowboys, we actually have our own sketch cards. Let me just show you that. Yeah, see here, I'll move this. We have our own sketch cards, and this was a drawing that I did. But technically, the reward tier is for black and white, and then I'll probably put some gray tone. A little heavy-handed here on this one. But technically, when I think of black and white, I end up putting some gray tone on it just to sort of fill it out a little bit. Might not be as heavy-handed as this, but you never know, whatever the mood hits. But anyway, these are, I believe these are 32 point, and I don't have the list around. But these are 32 point sketch cards, like cardstock. There's a name for it, black tie or something like that. But anyway, they're very thick. Let me just say that these are very thick. I have a little space right here where I can write the name of the Kaju, or I can just sign my name. I usually sign my name somewhere up in the front, my insignia. But if you wanted me to sign in the back, I can sign in the back. But pretty much it says, congratulations, you've just received a hand-drawn art card from Kajus and Cowboys. This card features an original one-of-a-kind piece of art, which is true. So one-of-a-kind piece of artwork. The cool part about it is that you get to tell me what you want. And the thing is that since it says Kajus and Cowboys, the Kajus can be, say, Godzilla, or it could be Gamera, or it could be Kajus from our world, where we can be like, hey, look, can you just create, draw one of those characters from your world or whatever. Regardless of what, it would be an original piece that you will own. So we do have a reward tier that has this. And so here you go. There's one, and then here's another one. So you can see another example. And again, this will be for one character and some limited environment. So here's another one featuring our protagonist. It's pretty chill, relaxing and stuff. It was my attempt at trying to show him tipping his hat. And again, I'm going to be playing around with this character because there's that part that as an artist that we have to sort of familiarize ourselves with the character that we're working on. We want to feel like we're part of this character. And so for me, that's what all I've been doing off and on, is just trying to connect with this character and also with how I feel the character is. And then as that's going on, Matthew then comes in, he has a story to help complete the whole process. But yeah, this scene right here, he's already done a kill and he's just kind of chilling. So again, Hunter, aka the bot with no name, and I actually went over on the side and stuff over there, but I'll make sure it's a little bit more neater, a little better. But again, these are original sketch cards. This is original artwork. They measure 2.5 by 3.5, and they're just great. I mean, I have sketch cards from various artists and stuff, and some of my own, and they're great for collecting, and that's what they are. They are original pieces of artwork. I also have these sleeves as well, which, I will send the card in, so it's nice and protected. Ultra sleeves. So anyway, this will be part of one of the reward tiers. I think there's 2 reward tiers where I think they offer sketch cards. So there you go. And then here you go, the big Mama Jamma. These are the original pages of of this zero issue of Kajus and Cowboys, and this is that great shot right here where he's you know, the full frontal face of the hunter with no name, the bot with the bot with no name, excuse me, hunter bot. But anyway, now when I draw, I usually take a 11 by 17 blue line art comic boards, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'll forward it a little bit. But I tend to work 2 pages per 11 by 17 board. It's a technique that I learned a few years ago. I saw another artist doing it, and then I tried it and I loved it. It helps me. I love drawing much smaller. I think it helps me to pull back from trying to put too much in, and it's just a very comfortable style for me. So if people, we have a reward tier that's for the original comic book artwork. If you're interested, what's going to probably happen is then I'll have to come in, I'll have to cut the paper, I'll have to cut it in half, and then we'll send you that piece. I'll make sure to sign the pieces, and so that each one's a collector's piece for you. But this is the original artwork for the zero issue, so we're putting that up. And then here's another one. It's another one piece. And here's another one. And one of the things about the what I'm finding with Kajus and Cowboys is that I'm actually doing much more short amount of panels. That means like this, like 6, and there's times where I've done multiple panels and stuff. But I'm kind of liking this whole thing of doing it much more, the panels being a little bit more bigger and stuff. But yeah, so there you go. And of course I will sign all of this, sign all of these, both sides. Hey, you may be fortunate enough and you end up, paying to get, two pieces, and in which case we'll just send you the whole full thing without even cutting it, which would be great. And then also we'll be offering the cover. So there you go. And then let's see what else I got. Unfortunately, this will not be on the campaign, but this was a piece that I did 6/18/2020 last year, and this was again my man G14, and he's going up against, I forgot the name of his character, Celestial Guardian. It's what was it? These are characters from Kaju Max. And I love this character. When I read that story, and it was almost like this weird sort of tribute to Voltron, I just was like, I gotta try my hand at it. And then these are the ape whale, who's a big character that plays in there in the Kaju Max storyline, as well as what's this other character? The creature from Devil's Creek. So he's like a goat creature. So yeah, Xander did a great job in just kind of taking a lot of various, even cryptids, Kajus, pretty much a lot of different things, and he's created this amazing story. So anyway, this piece is not going to be, it's not available on the campaign, unfortunately. No. I gotta admit, there's still that part where there's certain pieces I know I just can't let go of just yet. So, but there's other great artwork. So hopefully you will take advantage of it, and yeah, give me the opportunity to do some nice artwork for you, nice sketch cards, which are pretty cool. And definitely, please help us to get 100 backers on this. I think we can do it. I mean, this is Wednesday, so we still got till Friday to wrap up this week. But it would be nice to get Kajus and Cowboys into the hands of, 100, at least 100 backers at least. I think we could do that. At least we know then that people are going to read it. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find anything else for you guys to check out. Guys and gals. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, digging through my stuff. I have a ton of artwork over the years, as you can imagine. So, let's see what I got. I started doing this binder thing. Thanks, Rob Stoll. He suggested this years ago. I bet he doesn't even remember, but started getting into doing binder, putting a lot of artwork. So I would draw small and put in binders. This character was from the Colossal Kaju Combat trading card set 4. I think that was SPN 4. And then I don't know if it's a good way to show these. Here, let me see. Actually, it's better if I pull them out. But these are all in like sleeves and stuff. So then there's some more characters. Oh, thanks. I just looked over and Andreas is saying 4 more backers. Oh, dude, you guys are, you're wonderful. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you very much. You know, you're really stepping up. And, you know, again, this is, I say like, this is just something where you're putting into the overall bigger picture of the indie comic book revolution that's going on right now. We're just part of that. We're just one little sliver of a piece that's, you know, a bunch of different slivers that are making a whole pie, you know. And again, this doesn't mean that somehow you are not liking or loving the big IPs. I love the big IPs, and we need them to be around. So they're going to still be around. They're not getting hurt. But now this is for the little guys, the people who were on the left side of the field. And we're just coming saying, hey, waving our hands saying, hey, look what we got now. That's how I look at it. I try to visualize it like we're on the left side of the field, and then Marvel, Image, and DC, they're on the right side of the field, and everybody's got their attention on the right side going, oh, yeah, it's big plays. And all of a sudden, we're the new kids on the block with our bats or whatever, and we're ready to do some swinging too. But anyway, thank you so much. I just want to say that. Thank you so much. And it looks like we might, but again, you never know. You know, so I don't want to get too excited. I just want to make sure that we can at least get past the 100 mark, and I'll feel a little bit better. Then at least I'll know that over 100 people will be getting copies of the comic book. But anyway, this piece right here was done. There you go, start date 12/23/2016. It started and then completed 12/31/2016, and this was a piece for my lovely wife's novel. It's a creature called the Chimera, and it appears in her second novel, The Last Daughter. I believe it's called the Last Daughter of Lilith. The Last Daughter of Lilith. Lilith, yes. Oh, she's gonna kill me. But this was the Chimera, and I went pretty crazy with it. She said she wanted something that just was a bunch of different creatures, and I went pretty insane. Let's see. All right. Here's some other stuff. The Nephilim, and some of the characters in it. Lilith. It's another creature. Yeah, see? These kind of drawings right here take me back to my old gaming when I was doing gaming art back in the day, where it was really like these really like tight pen and ink, where it was just insane. Like I was always like, I'm gonna draw scales and I'm gonna draw, you know, hair, every little strand of hair, and it was really insane. So yeah, I got a chance to reconnect again to that old pleasure that I had doing. Hopefully the glare is not too crazy for you guys, but when she did her novel, these images appear in the novel, so I got to get a little crazy. Got a little crazy. And some other stuff right here, other pieces. See? Doing more stuff than just kaiju stuff. Yeah. It's fun. It's all hand drawn. You know, I definitely am a traditional artist. All right, here you go. Here's some more characters from Colossal Kaiju Combat. And again, sometimes I will. There's vague times I'll take a look at these, and I can't believe I did all this stuff. I really can't. And the fact of trying to maintain like something different and unique. And I was also working on other gigs too while I was going on. So I was really doing some serious multitasking. And these characters are not my own. They're created by the people who had funded the project, or the fans of the Colossal Kaiju Combat, who, you know, would connect, who were, you know, able to get their characters done. You know, I was just given, you know, told what to do, to draw, or given like rough drawings to sort of look at, and then I would just say, go ahead, Frank, go ahead, go nuts. This character right here, tentacles and stuff like that. Oh my God. Then I had to do them in full color. Oh yeah, look at that character, Experiment 25. And I remember like trying to make everything so interesting and engaging and stuff. That was always my mission. Like, I was like, how can I make this so cool, so exciting? You know, like if I was getting cards, I guess when I think of like stuff, I'm like, if I get a card, I want to be like, man, this is the kind of card I want. I want to be excited. Look at this guy, Kermanjera. Yeah, look at that. Did this weird scene. And again, when I do my artwork, there's a level of not seriousness. I'm not trying to get realistic with it. I'm just trying to uh, um, express a sense of just raw energy, my sense of energy into it, and my take on it, where characters don't look human. They, even the humans don't really look human. And I guess that can almost be said like almost a manga kind of feeling where they don't look really, really human, but you can tell like they're human. I want people like to feel like this is another world, and these things are happening to not just human beings that look like us, but you know what I mean. Hopefully, this is pretty cool. Look at these guys, man, squirting out stuff. Oh, squirting on people right down there too. Oh my god, look at that. Shambo, image 41. Vipera Victorium. Yeah, and as I told you before, what will you see in a Frankie V piece? You will see helicopters. And this character was like a jet, so a flying serpent, and God, it's like you're sitting here challenging. I'm trying to challenge myself to go, how do you make something like that interesting? And then fit it in the confines of a trading card. There you go. Let's see. God, I haven't looked at these so long. Ah, this one was a fun one. I like this character. There's a couple that I like. Well, what happened was I really loved how I was starting to get into doing water and fluid. I can't even pronounce it. But again, one of the main things for me was making sure to put scale, which is as if you do kajus and drawings and giant, you really got to be conscious of that, of scale. I remember once I had somebody, editor or something, was talking about, like, he was like, well, if you draw that small, then how are you going to be able to get scale? And then, to me, he was just putting a challenge in front of me. That was just my main thing, like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to prove it. You don't have to put a big, giant splash page. I don't draw giant, big splash page. I do, a certain degree, for bigger pieces, like 11 by 17, prints or whatever, but still, you can do like these. I think these roughly were like 5 by 7, 2014, and you still can get a sense that there's scale. You got the little car right there, you got the cliffside, and you got this massive creature coming out the ocean. It could be done. Same thing, this was like a sky needle kind of construct, and then it's being blasted by this creature. No, Nusur, I can't even, now the names that people came up with is just mind-boggling. One of the things I have to say, the positives of working on something like this was the fact that it took me out of my own safety zone, like my view of like kajus, because again, when I draw my own kajus, my kajus tend to be the classic kind of, like, they don't have a lot of super detail in it, I'm more into, like, again, if you're looking at like Get a Robo or Grandizer or things like that, Mazinga Z, characters like that, or even the Showa era Godzilla and stuff, it's very simplistic in the designs and stuff, because I'm more focused on trying to gain that kind of energy of the character so I can play around. It frees me up from having to worry about every little detail or whatever. In my mind, it almost stops me from making it into static artwork, which I find that when I start getting too detailed, it just starts looking flat to me. But anyway, that's a nice one. Yukira, you got the little girl, and then I guess this. It's funny, now that I think about this, I just was listening to a podcast where they were talking about a Japanese spirit, and it was a giant skeleton and stuff. So, man, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. All right, let's see what else. What time is it? It's almost 11. I think I'll shut this down by 11. But anyway, so Zaz 39. I don't know. I just know that this character had electricity coming out from. He's pretty cool, man. I remember looking at references for tigers. But again, I always try to put little people, even these people right here, just a sense, and this is what I learned in advertising, just a semblance of people, just shapes. That's all you really need. And you get the sense of scale, and then you get the buildings. Again, you get this character. This character was actually pretty cool. When I colored him, I was very proud of how the coloring came out on it. But again, I try to put something up in there, like a satellite. And I stuck my name in there. A little trait from my days working in animation. Oh, let's see what we got. Always get your name in there. All right, so you got this other character, Muckface. Now, see, this is a character that I like. You know, and again, it reminds me almost of Clayface, but he's a kaiju. But you know, I tried to make it. I sat down and I said, okay, how can I make this character interesting? And so I said, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get like a, you know, you got a fighter that's flying through and it's just like, and it just blasts off from it, and he swoops up and stuff. And always a sense of like, you know, when you're doing the foreground, you want to get the nice bold line because then that kind of just pushes it. And actually at this time too, if you notice, I was starting to use some screen tone. I wish I had more time to do screen tone. Like I actually still have some sheets of screen tone sitting around, but it's just really a time constraint. I tend to now do it more like using Photoshop, but you never know. When I get the itch, that's when I'll grab a piece and start playing it. Same thing like this guy right here. Like this character right here, I do remember Prog 5, I believe, or Prog V, was a character who's technically a giant robot wearing a dinosaur. Oh, I think, but then the dinosaur's still alive. So I wanted to show the dinosaur crunching on a sort of tank kind of thing, and then, you know, and then again you get the sense of scale, little city and stuff underneath. Definitely a lot of inventive minds. Oh, that one's pretty wild. If you're a fan of like DC's Starro, yeah, this character reminds you of Starro, but just more vicious. But yeah, you got the guy, always dreadlocks, and he's like, oh man, he just looks over, and all of a sudden it's just like this giant creature. Sometimes it's somewhere, you know, I look at it and I go, ugh, you know, but you know, I felt that it gave the message. Like this character right here had like 4 arms and stuff, and so, you know, so I needed to put like a small little vehicle there, and he's like smashing his hand down there, and clearly buildings are burning and stuff. That's the job of the artist, is just sort of kind of think outside the box. Brunhild, another cool character. Nice blacks. God, I love that. Look at that. That was nice. Yeah, that's one that I'm pretty proud of. I like that. Fucho? Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, again, I think I put like I was like, it's supposed to be in a Japanese. I think that the thing was that it was a Japanese village or something like that, a Chinese village maybe. And this creature is destroying it. And so you see building stuff and houses right in here. But I wanted to show somebody, like again, scale. So you get this person on one of those bridges and stuff, kind of getting across. And just to give that, silhouette somewhat, just to get scale. All right, let's see what time is it. We're closing in, almost 6 minutes. Okay, here's some stuff. This was for the book Kaiju Rising 2. Kaju's Rising 2 by Outland Entertainment. And these were images done by some amazing authors and the stories and stuff. So Sabrina Voravulius. Oh God, I butcher people's last names. I'm sorry. But this was done 3/5/2018, so that would be 3 years ago. Past. And I believe this was the Jersey Devil. But in her story, well, the way she explained to me, she wanted it to be steps where you see it sort of getting bigger. And how do you do that? You know, you sit there and you try to think of how you're going to do this, since this is like a full, in the novel, it's going to be a full page. So what I did was I said, well, maybe if I can just break them up into panels. So you're almost making it to a comic book in a certain degree, you know, minus the words. So you get the first shot and you see it eating a dog, and you see this person right here, a police officer, and you see some people in the background. And then next thing you know, you see another shot, but it's much more bigger now. He's flying past these smokestacks. So you can again a size comparison. And then finally, we're now in the future where it's come back and it's gigantic, and it's grabbed the head. I forgot what it was, the head of this, but it was an actual statue or something. Yeah, these would look really good in color. Now I think about it. Here's another one. This is another time where Kane Gilmore. Kane, what's up? I don't know if Kane's out there, but if anyone sees him, give him a shout out. This was Kane Gilmore's piece that I did, and he had these two kaijus fighting. And I'm kind of regretting the fact that I didn't put something else in here, like just to give a scale of how big these creatures are. Um, maybe again like a helicopter or something, just to give a scale. But I'm very happy because it got really detailed in there and stuff. The characters and just these two creatures sort of fighting it out and just chaos. Yeah, nice. Wings are always so tough too. Look at that, did a little line work in there. I definitely have a traditional style. So it's funny, you know, I look at my work and I see some levels of humor in it sometimes. But then when I do stuff like this, it goes, oh my God, it's so super like crazy detail, you know. Even though I'm not even trying, and you know, not really trying to be detailed. It happens that way. All right, here you go. This one's a little, I think it looks a lot better in color, but it's a giant creature and more clearly a giant creature and it's a skull and stuff, but I like that skull face. Yeah. Maybe see, but see again, I look at it now and I go, man, I should have pulled that jaw just a little bit. It's bothering me right there. But again, you see the line work in there. It's really nice and sharp. I like that. This character was an interesting character because he's like a piece of just a bunch of different parts. But he's cowardly. He's a cowardly creature. So he's made up of different, like, I forgot what the parts were, chains and shields and stuff like that. And he's a kaiju. And you got the wizard or sorcerer down below, and he's kind of like, go back. What are you doing? You got to fight. That's why I made you. And this guy's like, no way. I'm not fighting no creature. Oh, okay. Oh, this one. I remember when this first dropped, man. This, someone just came and said they wanted Abraham Lincoln to be a kaiju. And yeah. Oh my God. I remember when this came out and people were just like, Abraham Lincoln as a kaiju. And I said, yeah, that's what they wanted. You know, hey, I got to draw what they, you know, I'm being commissioned to do. So I had him face, and this was a little technique I love doing too, was sort of giving the indication that there was something else bigger going on. And again, there's some screen tone in there. And you see this, he's fighting this creature, whatever it is, clearly a mech. And he's Abe Lincoln. This is one that I really like. As someone who loves the movie Tremors and the sandworms from Dune, I really love this piece. This was fun. I clearly was channeling that. I think of movies I've seen before, and I immediately was like, that. I see that scene just bursting out the water. Yeah, and then you see, but see again, it's like I don't know if people really saw it. I think probably in the color you can see it, but you can see that the earth is all raised up, so it's like, and then it just bursts out the ground. It's always important for me to at least have some level of a story going on. Oh boy, this one's a really cool one. All right, 1 minute. This one right here. This one right here was a really cool. I love this one. I love this creature. I love how weird it looks. And I remember saying that I had this idea of, oh God, when I look at it now, look at this thing. It's like, it's crooked. Yeah, it's painful. But anyway, this creature is controlling a town of people. And immediately when I was told about this, I said, I saw it in my head. I saw these people in the foreground. You get the sheriff with his, now I'm looking at this crooked friggin' shield on it. It's crooked. Oh man, it's gonna kill me. But anyway, I saw the foreground there. I saw a woman right here, and then your eyes kind of go back. There's a guy, and then you got all these townspeople, and this creature is just kind of, this kaiju is just oozing all over the place, and he's controlling the people. And I was just like, I know it. And you know, you just see it. I saw it in my head. I said, I see it, man. Now I just gotta lay it down on paper. This is another fun character because this character looks, it's almost in the same realm of like Ultraman, that more organic body type, but it's a robot, it's an automaton. And then I did a lot of this kind of stuff where I do like the foregrounds with missiles in the foregrounds, which I should have boldened up a little bit. I'm kind of and then he's shooting a beam, and I think I remember in color I put the beam blowing it up, but yeah, I don't understand why I didn't bold those up. So those little things you see, those little things that nitpicky about, just to get that sense of distance. Oh, look at this. Globus. This was a wild one too. But again, you see like the water, you see like the little lighthouse in the distance, little houses. That one's a cool one. This one was pretty cool. Satron, just some dude sitting in the underground, the underworld, and he's just like in his tail. I don't know if people can really get the sense that that's his tail in the back, and it looks like a Triton. And he's just sitting now, just waiting for the end days. And but he's like a mech and stuff, so it's really weird. Just really bizarre things, man, that I was doing. And then I think I'm gonna finally be closing it up, everyone. But here's the final ones. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll do these as the final ones. This one right here, I remember going back and forth with the person. Well, through the person who told me what I had to do, was that this was technically a creature that was inside of I believe a clownfish. So it was like a parasite that's inside this clownfish and wearing the body. So then you get a sense that you can see his pincers coming out of the mouth. So this was just merely a dead shell, I guess, of this fish, but the parasite was inside. And again, I drew. You got these little semblance of people below that I did. Here's another time. Here's another one too, where you got this character, this giant sort of mech, and he's tracking. The idea is that he's tracking kajus, and you get these little human beings, little human beings, right? Just to get a sense of scale, and then sort of waving to it, saying, "Hey, hi, okay, track that creature down and destroy it." Okay, and then this was a weird one. Serenus. The way they described it was that it was I guess an astronaut that mutated, and so he still wore his body around his neck. It's bizarre, man. But I wanted to show it a sense of size and scale, and the creature is very organic and stuff. So and I wanted to show little pieces of rubble and stuff. So I was very happy how it came out. And then this one right here. Looks like more of a tattoo, but again, skeleton, wings and stuff like that. Looks definitely like a tattoo. Huh. All right, so here's gonna be the final one. The final one's gonna be this one. I got so many. Maybe I'll save these for another day. But character of Mary Moon. Mary Moon. This was, I don't know if I was pitching or trying to get on a gig. It was like a pitch for a potential gig to do on a comic book, and it was just me trying to show character design of the character. And so I suffer from the same thing. Like I'm like John Byrne when it comes to trying to do faces and stuff like that. I really don't worry about it too much. I don't overthink about that. John Byrne is one of the most amazing artists out there, and his faces on his people were, that was his thing. So, but I don't think it took away from the fact of his tremendous artwork. So, yeah, this looks like a classic. This is like Werewolf by Night, but I wanted to show her, like a female she-wolf. Yeah, 2016, Mary Moon. All right, so with that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came along for the ride today and watched me draw some Ultraman. And and then what I'll do is I'll post it up on my YouTube channel, which I'll probably put in the post too, the YouTube channel, so you can go up there to watch it when it eventually gets posted. But I also have other videos, so please go on over there and definitely subscribe if you want to see new uploads and stuff like that to the channel. And also, please, if you could go check out the campaign, the Kickstarter campaign that we have going on. I haven't been able to see all the messages, but I'm seeing some cool messages from my man Andre, who's telling me that we might be closer than I saw this morning. So the idea is that we want to try to get over 100 backers. Just to get our comic book in the hands of over 100 people is really exciting. And then if we can go further, the campaign is closing out by the end of the month. So after the 100 backers, then it's just going to be the extra icing on this lovely cake, this independent cake. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me, Frankie B. And till the next time, right? All right, and as always, keep that art flowing and the creativity strong. Peace.